Rising up, back on the streets. Did my time, took my chances. Went the distance, now I'm back on my feet. Just a man and his will to survive. Welcome back, family. How has everybody been? How are you? How are you? How am I? How am I? I'm doing dreadfully well. Frightfully well, in fact. Feeling good. All good. And I apologize. You know, it's tough. It's tough. But I'm back. I'm not like officially back, like back, churning out videos, but I'm back in that position of strength and focus. All good. I should tell a story. I should tell a story now, shouldn't I? Okay, let's tell the story. This one is called Let's read something first. Okay. So I am going to read First Corinthians 11. See, my life is a new world order simulation. Therefore, there is no spoon. Oh, man. All right, First Corinthians 11, 23 to 34. All right, here we are. For I received from the Father himself that which I passed on to you. It was given to me personally. That Yeshua on the right, on the night when he was treacherously delivered up, and while his betrayal was in progress, took bread. You're going to need to focus, like concentrate, like, this is probably going to get me into more trouble, more hatred. Nobody's going to like this. But you know me now. All right, let's start from the top. For I received from the Father himself that which I passed on to you. It was given to me personally. That Yeshua, on the night when he was treacherously delivered up, and while his betrayal was in progress, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he broke it and said, "Take, eat. This is my body, which is broken for you. Do this to call me affectionately to remembrance." Similarly, when supper was ended, he took the cup also, saying, "This cup is the new covenant, ratified and established in my blood. Do this as often as you drink it, and call me affectionate to remembrance. For every time you eat this bread and drink this cup, you are representing and signifying and proclaiming the fact of the Messiah's death until he comes again." So then whenever whoever eats the bread or drinks the cup of the Messiah in a way that is unworthy of him will be guilty of profaning and sinning against the body and blood of the Messiah. I'm skipping Lord because you know everyone's Lord, and I have to be specific. Let man thoroughly examine himself. Let man thoroughly examine himself. And only when he has done so should he eat of the bread and drink of the cup. For anyone who eats and drinks without discriminating and recognize with due appreciation that it is Christ's body, eats and drinks a sentence, a verdict judgment upon himself. That careless and unworthy participation is the reason many of you are weak and sickly, and quite enough of you have fallen into the sleep of death. For if we searchingly examine ourselves, detecting our shortcomings and recognizing our own condition, we should not be judged and penalty decreed by the divine judgment. But when we fall short and we are judged by the Messiah, we are disciplined and chastened, so that we may not finally be condemned to eternal punishment along with the world. So then, my brothers, when you gather together to eat the Lord's Supper, wait for one another. If any is hungry, let him eat at home, lest you come together and bring judgment on yourselves. About the other matters, I will give you directions personally when I come. Read it for yourselves, please. 1 Corinthians 11. 1 Corinthians 11, yeah. Let man thoroughly examine himself, and only when he has done should he eat of the bread and drink of the cup. For anyone who eats and drinks without discriminating and recognizing with due appreciation that it is Christ's body, eats and drinks a sentence, a verdict of judgment upon himself. That careless and unworthy participation is the reason many of you are weak and sickly, and quite enough of you have fallen into the sleep of death. For if we searchingly examine ourselves, detecting our shortcomings and recognizing our own condition, we should not be judged and penalty decreed by divine judgment. But when we fall short and are judged by the Messiah, we are disciplined and chastened, so that we may not finally be condemned to eternal punishment along with the world. Alright, story time. I call this one a tale of two post-it notes. So basically, you know, I have notable verses. I write them on post-it notes and stuff. So I had two post-it notes in just a blank space. Just two post-it notes side by side. One of them kept falling off. Stick it back up. It fell off again, and stick it back up. 10 minutes, an hour, the next day, sticking it back up. This went on like 4 or 5 times. And I'm thinking, what's going on? Like, these are from the same pad. I stuck them both up on the same day. Why is this one falling off? Stick it back up, like. And it falls off. And I say, okay, now I'm getting worried. Fell off again. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'm looking at it. Okay, so this post-it note is Job 5:17. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, I know. I've dealt with this already. I'm living it. I've accepted it. I'm walking in it. Job 5:17. Psalms 94:12. Revelations 3:19. 2 Samuel 7:14. Yes, yes, yes. Stick it back up. it's falling down again. And now I'm getting worried. I'm like, nah, okay, this means something. And I'm like, yeah. Like, I know. I'm living it. I'm walking in it. Yes, I understand. And then it finally dawned on me. Stop looking at the post-it note, which has fallen off. Look at the one that's still there, the one post-it note in the blank space. So there's me worrying about the one that's fallen down. And the one post-it note, which is right there, I read it and I'm shook to my core. So what is that one post-it note? That one post-it note is 2 Samuel 12 and 14. Let's get it. So this is about David. He's just cheated with Bathsheba and he's done his thing, and he has to be approached by the prophet to get an admonishing. He receives a parable. He's told he's a hypocrite and he gets an admonishing. Samuel 14. Ah, it scared me so much, man. 2 Samuel 12 and 14. Howbeit, because of this deed, thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of Yah to blaspheme. The child also that is born unto thee shall surely die. We all know what he did, and what he did afterwards to Uriah the Hittite. You know, he's not family, but he became family because he took up the ways of the Most High. And when people do that, they become family, and their children are born as those born in the kingdom. We know this. You know this if you've read these things. So yeah, howbeit, because this deed thou hast done, giving great occasion to the enemies of Yah to blaspheme, the child also that is born to thee shall die. Wait for the end. Wait for the end of this video. Howbeit, because this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord. To blaspheme. Wait for the end of this video. I'm gonna drop a gem. Yeah, so after I read that, I knew exactly what I had to do. And so now you understand my last video. And I apologize. Yes, it's terribly unbecoming. But, you know, when you're living this thing, this whole video is for those who are living it. So, let's move on. Judges. Such great books which, you know, people just overlook. Some serious understanding going on in these books. Judges 2. Judges 2:13, right. Because You know, when you're living it, you're reading this book, it gets to the point where and they forsook the Father and served Baal and Ashtaroth. And the anger of the Most High was hot against Yasharel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them. And he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies. Whithersoever they went, the hand of the Father was against them for evil, as the Father had said, and as the Father had shown unto them, and they were greatly distressed. Nevertheless, the Father raised up judges, which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. And yet they would not hearken unto their judges, but they went a whoring after other gods, and bowed themselves unto them. They turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of the Father. But they did not do so. And when the Father raised them up judges, then the Father was with the judge, and delivered them out of the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For it repented the Father because of their groanings, by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them. What's your idea of delivered out of the hand of their enemies? What did I say earlier? My life has become a new world order simulation. Therefore, there is no spoon. These judges, they knew their job. It seems that people don't know theirs. People want to refuse this thing. It's inevitable. Blessings. Blessings. And when the Father raised them up judges, then the Father was with the judge, and he delivered them out of the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For it repented the Father because of their groanings, by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them. Are you tired of this nonsense? Do people vex you on purpose? It's for the few. It's for the few. Judges 11. Ladies. Fathers. Judges 11:25. I'm going to start from 25. War again. So messages have been sent out, just like Moses did. Sent out messengers. Can we pass? Can we pass through? No, you can't pass. You guys can't pass. You can't pass through our kingdom. Moses said, can we pass through? We won't turn to the left, to the right. We won't eat your crops. We won't drink your water. We just want to pass. People said no. So now this is Jephthah. He sent out messages. He wants to pass. He's been raised up as a judge. He's fighting for his people. Now, are you any better than Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever strive against Yasharel, or did he ever go to war with them? You see, constantly reminded of that certain time going through the wilderness, just about to walk into the promised land. I spoke about this in the video these 3 times. Numbers 23 and 24. This period gets mentioned. I've seen it 2, 3 times, 4 times. Now, are you any better than Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever strive against Yasharel? Did he ever go to war with them? While Israel dwelt in Heshbon and its villages, and in Aroer and its villages, and in all the cities along the banks of Arnon, excuse me, for 300 years, why did you not recover your lost lands during that time? People start to just, let's go on. So I have not sinned against you, but you are doing me wrong to war against me. The Father, the righteous judge this day between the Israelites and the Ammonites. But the king of the Ammonites did not listen to the message Jephthah sent him. Then the spirit of the Father came upon Jephthah, and he passed through Gilead and Manasseh and Mizpah and Gilead. And from Mizpah of Gilead he passed on to the Ammonites. And Jephthah made a vow. And Jephthah made a vow to the Most High and said, if you will indeed give the Ammonites into my hand, then whatever or whoever comes forth from the doors of my house to meet me when I return in peace from the Ammonites, it shall be yours, and I will offer it or him up as a burnt offering. Then Jephthah crossed over to the Ammonites to fight with them, and the Father gave them into his hand. And from Aroer to Minnith he smote them, 20 cities, and as far as Abel Cheramim, the meadow of vineyards, with a very great slaughter. So the Ammonites were subdued before the Israelites. Then Jephthah came to Mizpah, to his home, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with tambourines and dances. And she was his only child. Beside her, he had neither son nor daughter. And when he saw her, he rent his clothes and said, alas, my daughter, you have brought me very low, and you are the cause of great trouble to me, for I have opened my mouth in a vow to the Father, and I cannot take it back. Is she a good woman of understanding? Sometimes you got to think, the Father knows. Remember, I knew you before the womb. Jephthah has made a vow. Maybe he shouldn't have uttered such things. He never knew who was going to come out of that door. And it's his only daughter. Now she's got to fulfill the vow that her father... She has to offer herself up to the Most High now, because he made the vow. And the Most High said, you know what, that's a deal. Now, women and girls, oh, how dare you do that? Her life is her own life, and blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. Sometimes you can't keep thinking like that. He knows you before the womb. When the Most High probably said, you know what, that's a deal, he already knew his daughter. So, Alas, alas, my daughter, you have brought me very low, and you are the cause of great trouble to me. For I have opened my mouth in a vow to the Father, and I cannot take it back. And she said to him, My father, if you have opened your mouth to the Most High, do to me according to what you have vowed, since the Father has taken vengeance for you on your enemies, the Ammonites. A good woman of understanding, she understands her father has executed justice. He's done a great thing for the people, for the kingdom. You know, he stood and he asked the Most High, if you do this for me, I will give you this. He wasn't sure. He wasn't 100% sure. But it's done now. His only daughter came through that door, and he's offered to offer her up as a burnt offering. And she said to her father, Let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go and wander upon the mountains and bewail my virginity, I and my companions. So she's going to take her sisters. They're going to go away. And he said, Go. And he sent her away for 2 months. And she went with her companions and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains. Now, you know how our sisters are. You know, bewailed, sometimes you can't always see it as weeping and crying. It's definitely weeping and crying, but I'm sure they were singing like deep, passionate songs about their sister who's about to stay a virgin forever. And he said, Go. And he sent her away 2 months. And she went with her companions and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains. At the end of 2 months, she returned to her father, who did with her according to his vow, which he had vowed. She never mated with a man. This became a custom in Yasharel, that the daughters of Yasharel went yearly to mourn the daughter of Jephthah, the Gileadite, 4 days in a year. Duty, purpose, honor, and it became a custom for the great thing. Her father was remembered for being a judge and fighting for the kingdom, and the daughter went on in history. It became a custom for young women 4 days in a year to just go away and pay homage to this lady who's going to be a virgin forever for what her father did. This has to be added as well, I'm sorry. Say nothing. I'm just going to read it. Then the men of Ephraim. So Ephraim are also Israelites, but they're like they're a group of certain tribes. Like you have Levites, Levites and Benjamites, and Judah, Levi, Benjamin. They're like the leading tribes. And you got Ephraim. Then the men of Ephraim were summoned together, and they crossed to Zaphon and said to Jephthah, Why did you cross over to fight with the Ammonites, and you did not summon us to go with you? We will burn your house over you with fire. And Jephthah said to them, I and my guys, we were in a severe conflict with the Ammonites. And when I called you, You did not rescue me from their hands. And when I saw that you would not rescue me, I put my life in my hands and crossed over against the Ammonites. And the Most High delivered them into my hand. Why then have you come up to me this day to fight against me? You see, the battle's all over, bruv, and then man's come to just talk, bruv. After, remember the scene in Game of Thrones after the Battle of the Bastards? You, Lord Manderley, your brother was killed in the Red Wedding, and you refused to answer the call. And you, Lord Glover, your house has always been pledged to House Stark, and you refuse to answer the call. But House Mormont remembers. The North remembers. And what does Lord Manderley have to say? He can't say nothing. So he says, Lady Mormont speaks harshly and truly. Okay. Dedication, honor, purpose, made a vow, duty. 1 Samuel. I told you Samuel's jam-packed. I love Samuel. There's so much in there. (21) braid tees are coming up. So David's at war. King Saul has lost his mantle. Everyone knows there should be a peaceful transition of power. But no, Saul's after David. Saul wants to kill him. So David has to run from here to there. Because David had a chance to kill him, but he wouldn't kill him because he respected the Most High's anointed. He respected the Most High's anointed. So he was just fleeing from him and sending messages like, why are you coming for me for, bro? You know? Then David went to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest. And Ahimelech was afraid at meeting David and said to him, why are you alone and no man with you? It was the same. It was the same with Samuel. When Samuel rolled up to certain ends, the elders would say, have you come in peace? Because they knew, people understood, like, people understood. So Ahimelech was afraid at meeting David, and David said to him, why are you alone and no man with you? Different reasons. People feared Samuel for different reasons than they did David. Because David could just murder you all. Samuel could just speak, bruv. David said to Ahimelech the priest, the king has charged me with a matter that has told me, let no man know anything of the mission on which I send you, and with what I have charged you. I have appointed the young men to a certain place. Now David's lying. He's not exactly being truthful. But he knows that Saul is still the king at the moment. So he has to use that for people to accept him. Let me just read it. David said to Ahimelech the priest, "The king has charged me with a matter and has told me, let no man know anything of the mission on which I send you and with what I have charged you. I have appointed you the young men to a certain place." I've appointed the young men to a certain place. Now, what do you have on hand? Remember Abigail and Nabal? David needed certain things, and Nabal was a man of Belial, and he was all pissed, and he didn't want to give nothing. But Abigail, she went behind her husband's back. She was a woman of understanding. People knew kingdom matters, kingdom business. So David is at Ahimelech's place. Now, what do you have to hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread, or whatever you may have. And the priest answered David, there is no common bread on hand, but there is hallowed bread. This is our holy bread. Like Ahimelech's like, our holy bread. You know, can't you see this room's full of grey-headed men? This is our holy bread. But you know, think it over, understanding, these are our mighty men, these are our warriors. There is no common bread on hand, but there is hallowed bread. If the young men have kept themselves at least from women. Ladies, that's no insult to you. And David told the priests, truly women have been kept from us in these 3 days since I came out. And the food bags and the utensils of the young men are clean. And although the bread will be used in a secular way, it will be set apart in the clean bags. And the priest answered David, there is no common bread on hand, but there is hallowed bread, if the young men have kept themselves, at least from women. You can get that holy bread. Now, brothers, 3 days. Some of us years, bro. Years. 2, 3, 4. 7 years. 7 years. Kept from women. You can get that holy bread. It will be used in a secular way. It will be set apart in the clean bags. So the priest gave him the holy bread, for there was no bread there but the showbread, which was taken from before the Father to put hot bread in its place the day when it was taken away. That's 1 Samuel 21. I advise you to keep reading and then move on to 22 and finish that chapter as well. If you see what I see, say nothing. Just keep it. It's super interesting. Right. So, if the young men have kept themselves at least from women. the groanings, fighting for your kingdom, the vows, honor, duty, purpose. Revelations 14:4. Revelations 14:4. Revelation 14:4. Let's start from 3. And they sang a new song before the throne of Yah, and the 4 living creatures, and before the elders of the heavenly Sanhedrin. No one could learn to sing that song except the 144,000 who had been ransomed, purchased, redeemed from the earth. 14:4. These are they who have not defiled themselves by relations with women, for they are pure as virgins. These are they who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These are they who have been ransomed, purchased, redeemed from among men as the first fruits for Yah and the Messiah. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And the book tells us who we are, because it's our book. Enough said. And when things like happen to you, the tale of the 2 post-it notes, and you think about your whole life and this whole journey, everything you've been through, is it not time to just say, you know what? My path is clear. My path is clear. So I don't need to listen to any mockery or anything of that. You just shut it out. Just shut it out. So, let's drop that gem before I finish up. So, where were we? 2 Samuel 12:14. Howbeit, because of this deed, thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of Yah to blaspheme. So you've embarrassed the Most High, given them occasion to blaspheme. This is linked to my last video, and this is linked to the whole testimony, the whole reason why I've started this channel, and I have been trying to tell you for a couple of years now, since this channel's been going on. Because people can mock you, you know, wherever they like, but they ain't living it. They ain't living it. Because first you have the feeling it's happening. And it's so super weird. And then you know it's happening, but it's like, oh, well, how can I Nobody's going to believe me. You're sure it's happening, and you think, you know what, I have to say something. And what I have to say something, and I didn't care anymore. Watch my video in case I get capped. That's when I was sure. But then you find it in the scriptures, and nobody can tell me nothing, bruv. Nothing. Zip it. Your mockery it just floats off like a feather, like just. I'm running out of time, and I want to finish up with something else. So let's just lead up to it. Micah 4. I'm going to start with 9. Now, why do you cry aloud? Is there no king among you? Has your counselor perished? That pains have taken you like a woman in labour. Writhe in pain and labour to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Most High shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. You can start from the top, Micah 4. Let's touch on that, starting right from the top. But in the latter days it shall come to pass that the mountain, the house of the Father, shall be established as the highest of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and peoples shall flow to it, and many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Most High, to the house of the Yah of Jacob, of the house of the Elohim of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, and we may walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth out of Zion, and the word of Yah from Jerusalem. But in the latter days, and as what I just mentioned, many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain, to the house of, and he may teach us in his ways. This is to come. It's prophecy. Where was I? Like a woman in travail. Go out of the city and into the field, and thou shalt even go into Babylon. Long story short, there shalt thou be delivered. Remember, why are we still here? Why are we still here? There thou shalt be delivered. There the Most High shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. Now, also, many nations are gathered against thee. Micah 4:11. This is the gem. Now, many nations are gathered against thee that say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. But they know not the thoughts of the Father, neither understand they his counsel. For he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. Meditate on that, please. Now also many nations are gathered against thee that say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. Please go to my community page and check out the last 2 posts as well. Think about what that means in this day and age. Let our eye look upon Zion. In this day and age. Meditate on this for days. For days. think about what that really means. I could talk about this on and on and on. I could go on for another hour. And I've been trying to tell y'all. I want to find it in the scriptures. That's it. So, brothers and sisters, it's entirely up to you. But, you know, I could not leave the last video like that. I've been chilling, you know. Life without the internet is like reading your book. Life with the internet is like reading your book outside the cafe on the high street. You know, mild road rage, roadworks, screaming teenagers, some bloke calling his mate, "Oi, Dave, Dave!" Beep, 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 beep. Life without the internet is like reading your book in the middle of the park. All you can hear is the wind in the trees, the birds. Mr. Squirrel might even pay you a visit. Oh, what's up, Mr. Squirrel? How's the missus? Oh, well, you know, she's driving me nuts. I say, shut up, you love it. That's why you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Yeah. At the end of the day, you need to make the decision for yourself. And I just had to just turn off the white noise. Just turn it off. And I've been at peace. I've been doing so much more reading. So much more reading. Please, those of you in America, please read The Jewish War, the works of Josephus. Do not have a civil war. Don't do what we did. Do not have a civil war in America. It's inevitable. Do not die in shame and disgrace. Die in repentance. Die seeking forgiveness. Inspire us. Inspire us. Because if you're the ones to go first, please inspire the rest of us. You can really do something here, America. You can really do something. I've forgotten, there was more to say to that. Like, don't die in... Inspire us, seriously. It's inevitable. Don't have a civil war, because my main takeaway from reading the works of Josephus was all manner of horrors were committed in trying to fight against prophecy. It didn't have to be that way. And I can see why people hated us throughout the ages, because of what's written in that book. There's a scene in Game of Thrones where Tyrion gives Joffrey a book and he's like, the War of the Five Kings. Every king should read it. And I believe there are books out there which every nation, the leaders, read. The politicians, the generals. And I believe that this is one of them. And the amount of horrors that were committed by people strong men did some strong men get provided peace and safety, and the fearful went with the strong men, but the strong men all were also wicked. I said I would probably need to read it 2 or 3 times, but I don't need to read it 2 or 3 times. I soaked it up. And there are many take homes from it. But that was the main thing, like, all manner of horrors are committed when you're trying to fight against prophecy. America, inspire us. Inspire the rest of the world believers. If you're to go first, make a statement. Die seeking repentance. All right, let's finish up. The other day, it wasn't the other day, this was weeks ago. There's so much has happened in the last 4 months. Like, there's so many stories to tell, so much. But I'm sure they'll pop up. I'm not back, by the way. I'm just so enjoying my peace at the moment. Like, I'm just enjoying it. I just couldn't leave it like that, my last video. I wanted you to know I'm doing well. And I wanted to give some encouragement. Let family know I'm okay. Like, yeah, so I'm on my way to Finsbury Park, right? Which is 1 stop away. So basically I'll get on the train and I'm just on the train. I see this lady just fiddling like in her bag, bro. And I was just like, what's she doing? And she was just pulled out like a King James, bro. I was like, what? She pulled out a King James and starts reading on the train. And I was like, whoa. Like, I see you. I see you. And it's like confirmation for what I've been saying. Like, people say, oh, well, what does a Christian look like? Yeah. You're right. What does a Christian look like? But when you see unexpected people, and I was just like, I should speak with her. I want to speak with her. But I was only going 1 stop. And like, so when the train stopped, I just said to her, have you read Jude? And she was like, oh no, well, I'm reading from start to finish. I'm reading it all the way through. And I said, read Jude. It's very, very relevant. And people like you and me, we need it. And she smiled. She's like, oh, thanks, blah, 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 blah. It's just so shocking because, you know, she was still super stylish and trendy and she was like really fashionable. A woman like that reading the King James Bible on the train. Imagine what message that sends to a young 16, 17, 18-year-old girl, seeing this super stylish woman opening up the Bible. I was like, whoa. It was good. It was good. It made me smile. It's happening. So I'm just gonna finish it up, like, because I can read it. I wanted to read it, but read it for yourselves, family and friends. Jude. I can't say it better than he can. I hope you enjoyed this video. And brothers and sisters, family and friends, but especially brothers, let them watch you fall. Now also many nations are gathered against thee that say, let her be defiled, and let her eye look upon Zion. Let our eye look upon Zion. Amplified version. Now many nations are assembled against you, saying, let her be profaned, and let our eyes gaze upon Zion. Brothers, let them mock you. Let them watch you fall. Make sure you get back up. Let them laugh at your struggles. Let them watch you rise and rise again until lambs become lions. We gotta get out of this place. We gotta get out of this place. We gotta get out of this place. Girl, there's a better life for me and you.